The meal I chose to make for my assignment is the full English breakfast, also known as the fry up. It usually consists of fried eggs, sausage, Canadian bacon, tomatoes, mushrooms, fried bread, a side of black pudding, and is usually accompanied by tea and coffee. More recently, baked beans and hash browns have been added to the mix. The traditions of the meal date back to the Middle Ages and was served at special ceremonies and occasions like weddings. This would be the first meal a bride and groom ate together, leaving it known as the wedding breakfast, which is also another name for it. The English breakfast has stayed so popular in my host country because it can be enjoyed for centuries by people of all different walks of life. Like in London, where many people from different cultures reside and live amongst each other, and can all enjoy this meal. I chose to make this dish just by thinking of the most iconic dishes of this host country, and this was the first thing that popped into my mind. It's something that I've personally always wanted to try and I've never made, and breakfast food is some of my favorite to eat. So I did some research and decided that this would be the perfect meal to make for this assignment to represent my host country. Some of the ingredients for this dish I had in my home, like eggs, bread, and some tea in the cabinet I didn't know I owned until I even started filming this video. For other ingredients like the potatoes, Canadian bacon, and sausages, I had to go to the store for. The hardest thing to find was the Canadian bacon for sure. I had to go to 2 different grocery stores, and I'm still not even sure if I got the right thing, but I got breakfast ham, and it tasted good, so I am sure it works. The steps for this dish are basically just to cook everything separately and then plate it all together at the end. There were specific instructions like cook the sausage first because it takes the longest, and like cook the potatoes at the end, and you can share the plate with the bread to soak up the butter. It's little things that obviously like you would understand, but they're not critical to follow. So if you don't follow them, it's okay. You're still gonna get the same breakfast. Some of the things were kind of difficult at first. I never made baked beans, which turned out to be very easy. Sausage and fried toast, which was kind of the hardest for me because I never made it before, and it was just kind of trouble knowing when to flip it, and I kind of burned some of the toast, so I had to make another batch of it just to make sure that the toast wasn't burned when I was serving it. But basically the rest of it was relatively easy, but the hardest part was trying not to burn everything while it was all cooking at once. So you really have to stay on top of it if you want to cook it in a timely manner, or else everything else is going to get cold while you plate it and just leave it be. I'm actually really proud of my finished dish. I made 2 plates of it, one for me and one for my cousin who's staying here, who also tried the food with me. We both ended up eating the whole plate, and my cousin actually went back to get seconds on some of it. And I actually had 2 cups of tea, which I didn't even know I really liked tea. I'm always a coffee person, but with this assignment, it showed me that I really like English black tea. We're in Target right now. I'm trying to find the ingredients. I should have gone to Publix, which is an actual grocery store. This just has a grocery area. So I found some sausage. That's for the breakfast. And I found turkey bacon, which we can use as a substitute for Canadian bacon if we can't find it. We might have to take a trip to Publix though. Come on, guys. Some potatoes. Just what I need. Where's the bags? Over there. Wow. Okay, so we had to come to Whole Foods to get the rest of the food because Target did not have Canadian bacon. We didn't film the rest of what we got at Whole Foods, but it was basically just the Canadian bacon. So the next clip has the rest of the food in it. I have sausage, but it's turkey sausage. I have these baked beans, potatoes to sub in for the mushrooms and kind of the tomatoes because I didn't get either because she's allergic. I have this ham. It's like a Canadian bacon kind of thing, but it's not called Canadian bacon, but it's the same thing. I have some bread for toast and eggs. I have my directions right here that I got. I actually just took a screenshot of it, but it's from a BBC article, and that's where I got all of my ingredients from and everything. And it I like this because it tells me which order to do what in. So it's like cook the sausages first because those take the longest. Because I've never done this before. So yes, these are my instructions. I'm gonna start cooking. Are you filming?
Yeah.
So this is the setup. I'm trying to cook kind of everything at once. On the actual instructions, they say it's best to use a hot plate, but I don't have one. So I have my sausage that's taking the longest right there. I have my beans in here that I'm just like stirring a little bit. Then in this pan, I'm doing eggs and toast because it's called like fried toast, so you put it in the pan. And then in this, I'm gonna just do the sunny side eggs. Okay. Ooh, it's done. This is the final setup. We have our tea. We have our full breakfast. The aftermath of the English breakfast. Was it good? I think this dish was pretty easy to make, and I would definitely make it again if I had all the ingredients and wanted a really full breakfast. It is a hefty meal, and it's a lot of food to eat, so I would have to be really hungry and have some time to set aside to make this meal. I would love to try an authentic version in my host country and see how it differs from an online recipe that I just found on the first search result, really, that I could find, and I sifted through others just to see how they varied, but the recipe that I followed was the one that I thought would taste the best, that had the ingredients that I liked the best in it. And I would just like to see how it varies between real life, where it originated, and just an online recipe. Thank you for watching my video on my full English breakfast. See you in London.